Have you ever wondered how the books of the New Testament were arranged and how you can learn to find them faster in here? Welcome to the fourth episode of Bible Tidbits powered by Lifeword. Go ahead, hit like, and then answer this question in the comments below. What is your favorite New Testament passage or story? Remember, when you leave a comment, it lets YouTube know that this is a video worth promoting. So make sure you leave a comment so that we can reach more people. In our last episode, we talked about how the books of the Old Testament are arranged. If you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out. It'll be the first link in the description below. The Old Testament is 39 books and approximately 75% of the Bible. The New Testament is much smaller, just 27 books, and it makes up about 25% of the Bible's contents. However, just because it's shorter, that doesn't mean that some of the books aren't hard to find. Books like Philemon, Titus, and Jude can be very difficult to locate. Never fear, I want to explain how the New Testament is laid out and how understanding its layout can help you find passages faster. Don't forget the Bible hack I showed you in the last episode. If you're using a paper Bible, most of them have an alphabetical table of contents after the traditional table of contents. If you're using the Bible app, simply use the toggle at the bottom of the Books menu to swap between the traditional list and the alphabetical list. You're welcome. So, how is the New Testament laid out? It's not in chronological order, even though the first book of the New Testament starts with the birth and the genealogy of Jesus. Like the Old Testament, the New Testament is arranged by kind. When the books of the New Testament were written, they were circulated among the early churches as separate documents because they were written as separate documents. The Bible as a whole, and the New Testament in particular, didn't float slowly down to earth in one bound volume from heaven. The documents of the New Testament were written by men under the inspiration of God for very specific purposes. Knowing this fact will help you understand how the New Testament is arranged. The first 4 books of the New Testament, they're the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These first books chronicle the life of Jesus from 4 different angles. We'll talk more about that in a later video. It's absolutely fascinating. The next book, yes, just one book, is Acts. It stands by itself as the history of the early church. The other 22 books, they can be lumped together under one classification: letters, or if you like a churchy word, epistles. Epistle literally means letter. Now, it's not very helpful to learning how to navigate the New Testament if I just say the last 22 books are letters. So let's break this broad category into smaller groups. The biggest division that you can make is between the letters that Paul wrote versus the letters that he didn't write. Now, if we take Paul's letters, we can divide them into 2 groups. Letters written to churches, they're the ones that have city names like Romans, Corinthians, Thessalonians, and then there are letters written to specific people, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus, and Philemon. These 2 groups, oddly enough, are arranged in order of length, longest to shortest. Now remember, like chapter and verse numbers, the arrangement of the books of the Bible are not inspired by God. It's just the way that we printed them as we put all the documents together in one volume. That's why Galatians is before Ephesians, even though Ephesians is 192 Greek words longer than Galatians.
Whoops. Whoopsie.
Now looking at the letters that are not written by Paul, we have Hebrews, the longest, then James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, Jude, and Revelation. These are often referred to as the general letters because they were not written to a specific church like Romans, nor were they written to a specific person like Titus, one of Paul's proteges. These letters were written to the wider community of Jesus followers. That's why most of them, with the exception of Hebrews and Revelation, carry the author's name as their title and not the recipient's name like Paul's letters. Now you might be wondering, so John wrote the Gospel according to John, 1st John, 2nd John, 3rd John, and Revelation. So why are they not all grouped together? Great question. The Gospel according to John is put with the Gospels because it's a gospel. That one's a no-brainer. The real question is why Jude comes in and breaks up 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John and Revelation. Now this is more of a flow thing with the New Testament. If you put Revelation right after 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, you would hear the incredible reality of the end of history and the glorious eternity that we have with Christ, then you would pop back into Jude. It would be weird to end like that. So Revelation is put at the end of the Bible to wrap things up nicely. So the library of books that is the New Testament is ordered like this: Gospels, Acts, letters. So how does this knowledge help you find books of the Bible faster? Well, if you're looking for something in the New Testament, open your Bible up to the last 80% or so. If you find yourself in the letters and you need a gospel, then go to the left. If you find yourself in the Gospels and need a letter, go to the right. If you find yourself in the letters and you're wondering exactly where to find one, remember the ones that sound like city names are first, and the ones that sound like people names are last, with the exception of Hebrews and Revelation. Just like anything, the more time you spend in the New Testament, the faster you can navigate it. And remember, there's no shame in using the table of contents. It's certainly there for a reason. If you haven't checked it out already, remember that the Old Testament version of this video is linked in the description below. Hey, I hope you learned something in this video. If you did, would you consider sharing it? And be sure to subscribe so that you can catch the next Bible Tidbits video when it drops on Thursday. Before we go, a word about Lifeword. This amazing organization has been spreading the good news of Jesus since 1965. Lifeword's most recent project is the Lifeword Cloud, enabling more than 5 decades, imagine that, 5 decades worth of gospel programming to be accessed through the internet. The ultimate goal is that 200 world languages would be represented on the Lifeword Cloud, and that the speakers of those languages would hear the greatest story ever told in their own heart language. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and check them out at lifeword.org. See you next time. Grace and peace.